Good day, YouTube. This is Jay Money with Falling Forward Financial. Just an update here on Chevron, or ticker CVX. I wanted to do a video about this one just because it involves oil prices, gas, that sort of thing. And another, I sold some shares this morning. I had in an order to sell this if it hit a certain price point, and I went into my account this morning and I was like, well, where'd that money come from? And I got to looking, and it sold some shares. So I had put in an order to sell, I don't know, a couple shares at $140.11, and it filled. So So that was a nice surprise. I wish I would have sold them all because, as you can see, it started off high and just dropped off. So the high today, and I still don't see how it filled because this says 138. 52-week high is at 139, and they sold at $140.11. So anyway, I got rid of them, made a profit, and that was about the only profit that I made on it. It's just hasn't gotten a return that I wanted to see on it. So, but again, this is Chevron. You can see what they've done here over the last year. They are up about 35%, but I just have other stocks that have gotten a way better return. So, and in the last 3 months, it's not bad, up over 16%. In the last month, 7.73%. In the past week, 2.29%, and here it's green again today. So it's green totally across the board. So, which is, you don't see that too often, especially today with a lot of things that are being read. If you don't know much about Chevron, they're into quite a few different things: crude oil, international oil export pipelines, natural gas, and so on. Been around since 1906. 22 million on the volume today, so almost double of what it usually is at 12.76, and a $259 billion market cap. 52-week low of 92.86 and a high of 139.44. And like I said, not in this account, but I did sell some out of another account that I had, which was kind of a good feeling. My thought was the gas is going to go up, so the stock should go up. So I set an alert, or actually a limit to sell if it hit a certain point, and it hit it. So it's all good. So earnings are expected on April 29th in the pre-market. I still have some of this one, so I raised it up even higher, and so we'll see if we can get rid of the other shares. So I just feel with EVs and everything, there is a need for these stocks, but if you're wanting a return on your money, I don't feel the oil stocks are the ones to be in. But if I'm wrong, go ahead and correct me in the comments. But is CVX Stock a buy right now? 3 analysts weigh in on Chevron Price Predictions, and this is just 4 hours ago. So they're faring much better than the Dow counterparts this morning, with the index down more than 2%. The commencement of the Russian invasion on Ukraine has sent market participants into a frenzy. So if Russia decides to cut back on fuel cells, more pressure will be placed on other energy companies to carry the load. This helps explain the relative strength of CVX stock this morning. So I shouldn't say, but an easy solution would be to just open back up the pipeline. So I read something about where we import 100 or 200,000 barrels or something like that, and maybe it'll say it here in the article, and the pipeline creates about 800,000 barrels, but again, that's all in the past, so we'll see if it opens back up or not. But with Russia not yet cut back on fuel cells, the possibly possibility still remains. Indeed, Russia could impose the policy in response to new sanctions. Joe Biden promised to hold Russia accountable for its actions and will unveil new sanctions today at noon. And I think those have already been released. And if you have any more information on that, you can put that in the comments. But here's 3 analysts weigh in on Chevron Price Predictions. Morgan Stanley has priced the target at 166. So in that case, I'd hold the rest of my shares and part ways with them. But RBC Capital has a price target of 145. So it could hit these prices if gas oil keeps going up. I think was over $100 a barrel today. It's went over 100 since 2014. So kind of crazy. And Cowen has priced it at $140. So I'm happy with any of these. I would part ways with Chevron at any of these, especially this. Over here on Microsoft Bing currently shows it as a buy with a 1-year price target of 141.71, so not too much of appreciation there. This one does give a dividend, which I did forget to point that out. The dividend is 3.92%, so not too bad. Chevron targets 5 U.S. well sites in project to curb emissions. Oil giant works with Project Canary to get well certification. Chevron move comes amid a push for responsibly sourced gas, and this is dated on the 23rd. So they're looking to show it can lower methane emissions at 5 oil well sites in Texas and Colorado as part of the industry push into the responsibly sourced gas. Energy giant is seeking independent certification at the sites. From environmental assessment firm Project Canary, which will review and analyze information on emissions and other environmental aspects at the wells, which produce both oil and associated gas. Chevron will also deploy Project Canary monitoring devices at some locations, the company said Wednesday in the statement. Energy companies including Exxon Mobil, EQT Corp., and Southwestern Energy have rushed to demonstrate they can produce gas with low resulting emissions of methane. Potent greenhouse gas contributor. In the process, they have largely pursued certification from Denver-based Project Canary and nonprofit MIQ. Push for gas, deemed responsibly sourced based on its environmental credentials, have been met with skepticism by environmental groups including the Sierra Club. So again, leave any comments in regards to some of these gas companies, which one's your favorite, and if you're keeping them, selling them, or buying more on hopes of them going up. So that would be interesting to know as well. Chevron Iwatani to build 30 hydrogen fueling stations in California. This is just dated on the 24th, so on Thursday. Said it will work with a unit of Japanese industrial gases company Iwatani Corp. To co-develop and construct 30 hydrogen fueling sites in California by 2026 in an effort to help reduce carbon emissions in the transportation sector. California-based San Ramon, California, said it plans to fund construction of the sites in the Chevron branded retail locations across the state, adding that the stations will initially fuel light-duty trucks or vehicles, but will retain the flexibility to service heavy-duty vehicles over the long term. And moving on here, Chevron, the only Dow stock gaining ground as Amex and Disney stocks lead the losers. And I just did a video earlier this morning why Visa, MasterCard, and American Express. It was an interesting article in regards to cryptocurrency at 1% as opposed to the credit cards charging merchants 3%. So I'll link that in the description as well. It's called This Is Why Visa, MasterCard, and American Express Are in Trouble. So might want to watch that one as well. And Disney stocks lead the losers. So Chevron Corp stock is the only Dow Jones Industrial Average component gaining ground in the pre-market trading on Thursday. Dow Jones futures tumbled in the wake of Russian invasion Ukraine, while the other 29 components are falling by at least 1% and as much as 4.4%. Chevron stock jumped 4.2% ahead of the open, putting them on track to open in record territory as crude oil futures shot up 8.4%. Among the biggest Dow decliners, shares of the travel-related companies American Express Company shed 4.4%, while Disney dropped 4.2%, and Visa slid 4.1%. Meanwhile, Dow futures sank 806 points, or 2.4%. Chevron announces investment in carbon clean CO2 capture technology business. And again, some of the same information, just on a different look here on Yahoo Finance. So again, just going to scroll through some of this information here. We look forward to partnering with Carbon Clean to help advance Chevron's pursuit of lower carbon solutions, and that's what they've been working on for years. And it's gotten better, but say what you want about EVs, but no comparison. But Chevron Technology Ventures made an initial investment in Carbon Clean 2020 and 2021. Chevron launched CNE to accelerate lower carbon business opportunities in CCUS, hydrogen, and offsets and emerging energies, as well as support Chevron's ongoing growth in biofuels. Moving on over here to Reddit. 5% drop, picking these up for sure. Anyone remember CVX being difficult? Nothing in there relevant to today. Over here on StockTwits, currently at 134.85, low of 89.81, high of 137. Freedom Stocks watch list for tomorrow. Starbucks, don't know what this one is. This is FedEx, I believe. It doesn't want to tell me. Yep, FedEx, Chevron, and ExxonMobil. So that might be another one to watch, ExxonMobil. Over here on MSN Money, currently showing it as a buy, and here on TipRanks, showing a strong buy with a 5.36% upside to 142.08, high of 160, low of 109. So feel free to leave whatever comments you want in the comments, and this one has just been trading kind of flat and had a couple dips here. March of 2020. But it's just been in this 130, 120 range for quite some time, so I'm glad I sold some of it, but it must have sold first thing. I still don't see how it filled, but I'm taking it, so. And then just dropped off, so we'll see what it does tomorrow, but I'm already set my limit at, I think, 141 and some at 142, so we'll see if those fill. But if you have Chevron, ExxonMobil, or any other oil, gas stocks out there, you can list those in the comments. And there's ExxonMobil, but that's the only one it shows. And if you haven't smashed that like button yet, go ahead and hit that for me, as well as subscribing, and hit the bell so you're notified of when the next videos drop. Again, this is J Money, following Ford Financial. Happy trading, happy investing, stay green. Cheers.